That's the big issue here.
Everybody at this point is either a DJ or an influencer.
Yeah.
There's like 6 degrees of separation. You either know a DJ or an influencer or you are one.
Your life, you've seen everything change so much from when you started.
Or a podcaster.
Yeah, or a podcaster. You've seen it change so much. Is it better now? Like just life in general. Is life in general better now than it was when you were growing up? Or do you feel like it was better then overall?
That's a sliding scale. It's all like aspects of it were better. I think it was better that you weren't staring at screens all the time. I think it's a better time now for artists. I think it's a better time now for people who aren't white to be able to express what's really happening to them.
Right.
Probably a worse time now for people in hate groups where they can kind of be like, hey, man, I didn't know you hated the same shit I did. You're up in Seattle.
Right.
Like Sleepless in Seattle meets the Klan. Like you kind of get that shit going on. I think it's just like, but obviously the environment, we've kind of pushed it to the limit here.
It feels like it's at the breaking point.
Yeah, I feel bad for young people now that they're kind of down to 2 seasons. It's either summer or winter, it kind of seems in a lot of places. So, and I think people are ignorant too, where they're looking out at LA and out here being like, yeah, good luck. Like, dude, like that's not going to slowly come your way.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and if we keep going this route, because like I was looking back east, look at the trees, they got the lush land and the lakes and stuff, and it's just like if it keeps getting hotter, all of those trees are going to dry out, and then you're just sitting around like a bunch of old newspapers. So yeah, I think the new thing is going to be, it's not going to be to solve it. It's going to be the fireproof house, where you can
fireproof house
with the infinity pool inside.
I like that.
So as you sit there and you watch people with less money than you burning to death.
Right.
As you're tweeting, my heart breaks for people with less money than me. You stay in there.
Yeah.
And once they're all gone, then you just sort of absorb.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go back to those massive ranches that guy, like, like how that one guy owned Griffith Park. Like he gave that to LA. Like one guy had all of that. I think we're going to go back to that once people just sort of get, burned out or washed away by the sea.
It's very possible. What's weird about LA is we do have a lot of homelessness, but all of our hit shows are about real estate. Like every show on Netflix, like Selling Sunset and, buying Beverly Hills.
They just start dressing like absolute fucking whores.
They're hookers.
Yeah,
no.
Dude, I watched one of that Orange County one. This woman was selling a house. She's got these beautiful tits. Probably not real.
Right.
Dude, everything but her areola.
Yeah.
Her tits were out, and then it plunged all the way down here. And I'm just thinking, like, if a guy shows up with his wife,
right,
like, that's a really weird thing where it says, hey, what'd you think of that house? It looked great. Tell me 2 details of that house.
Right. And none of them know. Like, none of these people, if you ask them what the taxes on the house are, they have no idea. Like, they don't know any real estate questions. They're just hot. And
I'm sure they know. But what I'm saying is,
they don't seem to know that much.
Those are the kinds of women you want to fuck it as a guy. If you're successful, you want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Because they will take your life.
They'll eat you.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will eat you and then play the victim and cancel you.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're well positioned.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, that right there, that was a movie star.
Right.
She was a movie star.
Now she sells houses.
She's selling a fucking 1-level ranch with an open floor plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you not buy the house the second you walk in there?
Well, and I think a lot of them are trading on the fact that they'll meet rich guys and then perhaps, they might marry those guys.
No, you know what I think it is? I think it is that you never used to sell houses on TV.
Right.
And then what happened was probably all the ugly people got shamed out of that business.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they would because back in the day, stewardesses were hot.
Right.
I think all the hot stewardesses are now selling houses.
They are not hot anymore.
They're not. They look like me.
No, flight attendants look like they're...
That's not true. I've seen some.
Some of them are pretty, but some of them are weathered.
No, if you're on a mainstream airline flying across the country, that's seniority. So there's going to be some miles on that one, right?
Yeah.
If you take a puddle jumper, right? Instead of playing Denver, you're doing Colorado Springs.
Right.
Maybe Grand Junction.
Right. That's where you get somebody who's cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the LA to New York.
But at that point, I'm 54, so I can't look at her anyways, or else I'm a creep.
New York to LA or LA to New York, which is what I do a lot, it's a lot of older women.
You got hags.
Yeah, who have had it.
They've had it.
They've had it.
I've had it.
Yeah.
They've had it.
Yeah. They're like, put the strap, and they go the seatbelt. They go, and the shoulder strap. Like as soon as I walk in.
It.
Yeah,
they're like that comic that stopped writing jokes and he hates his act.
Right. They just got to keep doing it, keep rolling through. But what's interesting about what you said about the fireproof houses, that is probably going to be kind of a reality as stuff gets worse. Nobody's going to want to.
Well, the sad thing is none of the politicians are in a position to turn on corporations.
Right.
Because they're all grossly underpaid politicians. And they do it because they're supposed to be public service. But what you're really doing is it's so the rich people can have them in their pockets. They need them. That's why, the stuff that like those 24-hour news networks go after, it's never, they're not going to go after like the big guys that feed them. They go after, stand-up comedians telling jokes and, some guy slaps somebody at a mall. Right. What is this? What is happening to the fabric of America?
Right.
And they just kind of...
they don't go after like Blackstone that buys all these houses now and pushes the values of them up, and they've locked people out of renting. Like they don't go after companies like that. Like over the
pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, they don't
just
go after
selling
that.
synthetic heroin. That's all.
Yeah.
Killing hundreds of thousands of people, devastating families.
There's one.
That's no big deal. But did you see what Tim Dillon said?
Right.
In San Jose. And then that's like, what do they call that when you're, it was like that joke I did at Red Rocks when I saw a bunch of fucking liberal idiots out here going after dead John Wayne.
Right.
I'm speaking to dead power. Like they were doing their thing as a white person that day. It was just so fucking stupid, right?
Settling scores with dead people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Putting them historically in perspective. A live white guy that still has power that I need to get my movie made. I won't speak to him.
Right.
But I'll try to change the name of an airport.
Yeah.
You're welcome, black people.
Does that ever, do you think, what changes that where corporations run everything? They just seem to run everything and they will forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only game to play now is yourself as far as just try to be a nice person.
Right.
An individual. I was talking to you earlier. I said, hey, I ran into this squirrely little guy. Watch yourself if you're around, just shit like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I've been doing this bit in my act about talking about like your job as an older person is to help out younger people. Right. And whatever mistakes you made, you just tell them this is what I did. This didn't work. And this is what worked. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I think that, if you're a comic that's doing well, part of that of doing well is helping out comics that are struggling. It just is. And I think, if you're a white person, you should shut up and listen to people of other races saying what their experience is. Right. Rather than trying to be like, well, actually, Africans actually sold black people into slavery. Yeah. So slavery was like just doing that. That shit is
that's not helpful.